Okay, recording this video after close of trade Wednesday, the 22nd of July 2020. It's just gone 3:42 p.m. Chicago time. Emini market is shut. Hope you had a good day's trading. And apologies, there's not been much happening from me. We just keep on creeping higher and higher, but turning points, I think, are going to happen shortly. You can see it on all of the kind of major markets. We're coming into higher time frame turns, but we just need the setups to be right. In the meantime, what we're doing on the E-mini is closing the gap. So I'm going to tag on a day trade from today. Had a nice little trade into the close. Long at 53.50, out at 65.50 for 12 points. So you can kind of see that trade. But let's just go through the charts from the highest to the lowest time frame. So I'm going to take you down from the daily chart to the 135 to the 45-minute to the 15, and then the 4500 tip bar chart, and all the way down to the 500 MTF chart. So that's from top to bottom. It's the usual kind of look of my charts. The right-hand side, we've got better sine wave here, calculating the cyclical energy in the price data, and it allows us to calculate cycles in low, intermediate, and high time frame and put those cyclical turning points on the price bars themselves. So supports are red, the thick ones are the highest time frame, the intermediate ones are the less thick lines, and these little dotted ones are the lowest time frame. So that's support and resistance, and then breaks of resistance into uptrend, breaks of support into downtrends. And then on the left-hand side, everything to do with volume. Better momentum on the left-hand side, which is a volume-based momentum indicator. And then better pro-am, which calculates the average trade size. Blue bars are high average trade size and show professional activity. Yellow bars are small average trade size and amateur activity. So then we can combine the two, so looking at trends based on price and volume, and we can get combo trend indicator in the background here. So when both of the trending systems, volume-based and price-based, are both going in the same direction, we paint the background red and gray if they're both kind of in downtrends and weak. So this is the most important thing that we're looking at this chart, is the gap fill. If you look at ES.D, so this is the day session only, you can see that there was this big gap kind of generated back in, was that March or February? That was end of February, 21st of February. So that little gap fill there happens at 3,300, and that's what we're coming up to do. We're going to go up and certainly kiss that little 3,300 level, or maybe we'll get kind of close to it. Sometimes people are saying, well, if that's at 33, I think it's 04, something like that, the lower that bar. Yep, 3304, maybe, 3298 is as far as we'll get, or just under a round number. Who knows? Let's see. I mean, obviously the NASDAQ kind of punched through their kind of highs and is breaking to new highs, but certainly the next kind of target that people will be looking at is that gap fill to come up to that 3300 level. And yep, we're in an uptrend, everything's kind of breaking above resistances and so on. At some point we'll have a cyclical turning point on the E-mini, and you can see this on the highest time frame. These two lines are kind of coming up to 100 and will eventually cross. That's when we need to be kind of rolling over. But you can see that same pattern coming up to a cross, or we've already had crosses on a whole bunch of the other kind of markets, all the kind of other asset classes and Forex as well. So we're lining up for something big, but it just hasn't happened yet. And the other thing I'd be looking for on my charts is something else on this volume side of things. Blue professional up bars, exhaustion buys, or something like that. Some other reason for us to say that that's kind of it, and we're going to roll over something like the Rambo patterns we had, or blue professional bars into those highs. There's been nothing there that kind of shows that there's a reason to turn around. So I'm looking at that gap fill. Everybody's looking at that gap fill to see what happens. So then we roll down to the next time frame down, the 135-minute chart, and you can see here that was that important kind of gap fill level, and we busted through there. Red bars all the way up on better sine wave on the 135-minute chart, and we're through more multiple end of trends. So this is continuing higher, just showing how strong this trend is. I like the 45-minute chart because it shows us these blue professional bars coming at the lows. The last time that we had a really important kind of look down was at 2900, and everything was looking like it was going to roll over and go test the lows, but the professionals stepped in 2800 on the button here. Exhaustion, sell, blue professional bars, U-turn there, bang. And then every time we have come into these lows, you can see the blue professional bars stepping in. They were here, they were here, they were here, and our better Pro-Am kind of trailing stop just trails those blue professional bars up. So that's what's kind of going on there. Still more strength in the background, price bars all kind of red, combo trend all red, and so on. So we're going to see what happens at that next kind of jump across to 2300, and maybe we'll get some exhaustion patterns. You can see down here, this was exhaustion buying getting the move going. We've had no exhaustion buying at the highs. So maybe we'll get that with the gap fill. And then lastly, going down to the 15-minute chart, you can see here on those dips, the blue professional bars coming in. And again, no exhaustion buy on better momentum at these highs as yet. It's a bit noisy, the 15-minute chart. Don't particularly like it. Prefer the 45-minute chart, but you can see there the blue professional bars coming in at the lows, here and here. Exhaustion sells, and we keep on kind of breaking up higher. So going down to the 4500 tip bar chart, you can see today's trade, which is kind of a doozy. The yellow bars here showing the open and close of the day. So this is at ES, so day and night session, whereas these charts I was showing you here were at ES.D, so this is just the day session data only. With the 4500 tip bar charts, you can see the open of today, kind of weak rally being led by the amateurs on the way up here, but then we tested into the lows down here at 32.50, just below it, and all the blue professional bars come in, bang, 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 at that low. And it also happened with strength. The whole day we were breaking up through resistances and showing strength on better sine wave here, support in the highest time frame behind us, so we were running out support to resistance. At some point this resistance will play in, but I think we're probably going to go through these highs up here and generate, well, we had exhaustion buy up here. Who knows? Let's see. We need to break supports into a downtrend on this 4500 tip bar chart before showing any kind of significant weakness. But I'll tag on the day trade here because it's set up from these blue professional bars kind of coming in here, and then when you go down, roll down to the 500 tip bar chart, MTF chart, you can see this is that activity there. Just about coming up to 1 o'clock here, they spike it down, blue professional bars kind of coming at the spike here, and this is what's really interesting for me, and this is why I went long at 53.50. They spiked it down, got all these people wrong-footed here, we rallied back, and at this little dip, the professionals step in again. So, and then as soon as we break above the highs of that, we're showing strength, and on better sine wave, it was all good. We were breaking resistances, showing the strength in the market. This exhaustion buying is getting the move going. This exhaustion buying is taking profits. Now, obviously, it went at the kind of 250 mark, which is where there's some rebalancing happening. So we did go a little bit crazy here, but my profit target was sitting at 12 points at 65.50 and eventually got taken out on this move here. We busted stops at this point above this high here, which was nice, and then had to sit through a retrace until we finally took out those highs, and I got out here. It was good for a little bit more and probably should have been holding for a little bit more, but that 250 marker in the day is some weird stuff kind of happens there, and I just wanted to be out of the market before that comes in. And anyway, stick with your targets, be happy with what you make, don't get greedy. Get out, don't get greedy. Anyway, so I'll tag on that day trade, lined up from these blue professional bars. Always follow the pros. That's the secret to all of this. So hope you had a good day's trading, and if you're interested, just hold on and you can listen to that trade. It was actually an hour and a half all the way through it, so kind of glad I persisted with this one, but it took a while to work out. Okay, I just got long at 53.50, long 53.50. It is 1:20 p.m. Chicago time, and just getting into this trade kind of later in the day. Not much going on today, but we had a nice little sell-off, and I was short into this move. I was short at 55.75, but all it was pressing down into these lows. You can see blue professional bars kind of spiking down, and then we kind of went to 48s. My target was sitting beyond this, so it didn't get taken out. But what it was doing was the professionals were just, getting everybody freaked out and using that kind of sell-off, quick sell-off down here to get all of this volume up here at the 48s and 50s. And then we've just had a little bit of spike down, blue professional spike down bar here. Exactly the same thing, like forcing it down and picking all of that up at 52s. So move the trailing stop down on better pram, which is good, and we've just broken above that at 54. You can see on better sine wave it's actually a triple down here. So pullback end of trend, sinking up on the lowest time frame, sinking up with support on the highest time frame. We just overshot support on the intermediate time frame, but triple is support, support, support on all three time frames. And a little bit of exhaustion buying here. This is in the channel, and so this is getting going. So this is kind of anxious to buy everything. So this is getting the move going. So not worried about these kind of flush patterns or bearish divergence here. That's exhaustion buying, kind of getting the thing going. We're going down a little bit. That's okay as long as we keep above 50. That's good. And let's see, so you can see on the 4500 tip bar chart, they were buying that into support, and then on that little spike down, they bought that because we're above the highs. So there's the exhaustion buying, getting the move going. So let's see, 53.50, my target's up here, above 64s, and see if we get a rally into the end of the day. Okay, just a couple of minutes later, they pushed us down to 52s. It's okay. Took a little bit of heat. We're back up above 54s. Reason for that was the move was being led by the amateurs. So a little Rambo pattern here on that kind of breakout. So they pushed it down just to freak them out a little bit. I've only seen a couple of blue professional bars on the 1500. Really I'd like to see another one, particularly breaking us up through a resistance area to show that the professionals are just buying the breakout and getting us going. This is good. We're up to just close to 56. This level here is important, 56 even, because it's where the professionals were kind of selling it down. So that's this zone. They wanted to buy it up. So as soon as we get above the highs of that, that means we're away. So red background above means both trending systems are in sync. We're above our support on Pro-Am. We've got red bars here. We're breaking above resistance. We've got two resistances. No, not two yet, but just the one. Yeah, because that's, again, amateurs leading the way. So might need a blue professional bar to show real kind of professionals kind of joining in and forcing this up. Anyway, we're holding, still long. Looking for something above 64s for a target. It's now 1:35 p.m. So let's see if we get a rally into the close. All right, about to get to 58s, hopefully. The move's being led by the amateurs. Got a couple of Rambo patterns on the MTF chart. There we go, 58's hit. And 1, 2, 3 on the 1500 tip bar chart. Not particularly worried about that. It's just absorbing kind of amateur volume, low average trade size volume. I'd only be worried if the lows of those were broken. This one here, yes, we got broken, but the amateurs were down at the bottom as well, so they were maybe kind of getting short or getting taken out of their kind of long positions there when we kind of moved against that kind of breakout point. So as long as the lows of these ones don't get taken out, I'm not worried about it. We've got a double break going on here above resistance on the 500, 1500. We've still got support to resistance to run nicely on the 4500, and this high up here is going to be critical, 63.25. Is that high for the day? Yep, it was. So my target's sitting at 65.5. It's just 12 points away from entry. Just if I get a decent kind of trending move, that's somewhere where historically it's a good point for me to be getting out. And that would be through a stop run, through that kind of high, which would be rather nice. So we're coming back a little bit from that breakout of 58. Just have to hold on, just be patient. 1, 12:48 now, so we still got a good hour to run before end of day. So let's see what we can do. All right, finally, a little bit of activity actually. A blue professional up bar. Above resistances, no end of trends, no exhaustion buy. So one's not going to do it. Plus, we're coming into the end of the day, so everything's kind of getting resolved. This high, 63.25. My target's 65.5. So that's all right, maybe, for a little bit of a exhaustion push above that. Here's these blue professional bars going exhaustion buy here, but we're above resistances on these all three time frames. So we've got to go pull back into trend at least on the 500 tip bar chart, and hopefully we'll go hunt some stops just here. So come on, come on. Right, well that happened quickly. We're up at 63s. What did I say this number was? 63.25. Did we just hit it there? I think we did. So 63.25. So that means 63.75 to 64. We'll have stops to run. I think that was just then as I was having a look at the number. So my target 65.50. Got our exhaustion patterns in there. No pullback, end of trends. So let's just see if we get. What was the absolute number up there? 64.50. So 65.50. Yep, could be lucky with another little push. All right, the pros just picking it up here on the 500 tip bar chart as that support comes in. They weren't active at the very highs here. So that's good. We're pushing up to 63s. This will be a pullback support. Comes in when that bar closes. There we go. Well, not exactly going to plan, but that little push down to 59s was a Rambo pattern. Amateurs. So amateurs just getting freaked out a little bit there. I know I should have been out of this end of trend. Was pushed back off, but still holding. Because we've overshot this support, we've now got to be held by support on the 1500. All right, there we go. Pullback on the 15s, pullback support on the 1500s come in. Give us a little bit of a reason to go test the highs. All right, clearly my target was just too greedy. Should have been out at the exhaustion buy. Blue professional bars up at 64s. Rambo pattern on 1500 says this sell-off being led by the amateurs. They're getting out, getting short. We've still got to go pull back into trend, so we've still got some cyclical energy on the 1500 tip bar chart to play in. Do like that as a little micro pattern. It's a Rambo bar. It's followed straight away by a blue professional bar within a couple of bars at the same level. Just shows the professionals stepping in after Rambo's kind of going the wrong way. So 62s, come on, and then take us through the highs and just have a little fun at the stops. 65.50 is my target, and we're running pullback to end of trend on the 1500. It's all red on better sine wave, which is all good. So, okay, bearish divergence come in here, not on the 1500. That's amateur up bars. Come on, it's got to go have a little bit of fun at 64.50. And bearish divergence on 1500. It's right on the zero line. So usually we go flush when it's close to the zero line. So 64s back again. Come on, let's just go for a little bit of a pop. Blue professional bar 64.50. Okay, 75. 65.25, target 65.50, quarter. All right, half spin hit. Didn't take me out, come on. Ooh, don't do that, Rambo up there. Come on, take me out. Order filled, 65.50. Excellent. And it's going to be an end of trend. Go off here in a second. And 244, the 250 kind of volatility shenanigans kind of, it's going to come in a few minutes. Who knows where it's going to take it during that. But that was nice. Took a heck of a while. I don't know, at least over an hour, I think. 12 points in at 53.50, out at 65.50. Good, good, good. There we go. End of trend's gone off with bearish divergence. All right.